They won't even report the true story. Cancel culture says, fuck him. He's basically saying something that doesn't agree with our ridiculous mentality of everything has to be absolutely squeaky clean perfect. So let's destroy this person. And that's what's happened to me over the years is only focus on the things Phil's done that are bad. Don't actually even report what he's saying that's true anymore. Just spin it for our own positive or negative or toxic purposes so we get attention on his behalf, at his expense, and don't actually tell the truth about anything. You know what I mean? And that's messed up in my opinion. How would I ever grow as a person or as a content creator if no one will be truthful about what I do? I can't, right? It's impossible to do so. And that's what I'm seeing here. This person, Lucius, actually doesn't understand that in the last 3-4 years, I've changed completely. I don't do that kind of humor anymore. I don't do those kind of jokes. My streams are completely different than that old on-demand content on YouTube. He doesn't even know that. All he knows is from what people tell him about me and thinks, what, gee, Phil, if you just fessed up about all the stuff you were messed up about, things would be better. I did. It's been done, but no one knows. See? So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, I guess.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Let's go. Brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee. SnortBucks, the best coffee. Defiant sniff. Satisfied sniff. Perseverance of sniff. Anyway, how's it going, guys? What do we have going on today? As you guys know, we're getting closer and closer to the holiday season. That's great. We're almost there. We're almost towards Turkey Day. Towards Turkey Day? We're heading towards Turkey Day is what I meant to say. But before we do that, we still have some leftover bacon we need to take care of. Because Lord knows that any of us want to be sitting on week and a half year old bacon leading into the holiday season, like deep into the holiday season, right? So let's go ahead and see if we can clear some of this up. The next couple of broadcasts should do so, and then we should be somewhat caught up. I'm going to speed forward a little bit, and then we'll jump back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell. Oh yes, DSP. Showing his mental maturity. I am not toxic. I don't steal. I don't scam. And I don't beg. Constantly. Ladies and gentlemen, this is from November 19th of 2019. How do we approach this? His mental maturity. Whatever. We'll just go ahead and see how that plays out. As it pertains to I'm not toxic, he's incredibly toxic. Jesus Christ, Phil is one of the most negative individuals. He's probably one of the most negative individuals on the internet. Or he's certainly one of the most negative individuals in the gaming sphere, if you will. He has a terrible outlook on not just life, not just the value of other people, but just everything. He has something negative to say about everything, and he always has. It's the only thing that he can fall back on that he's reliable for, that he can't fake. You know what I mean? Like his anger and frustration and negativity towards people, he's not faking that. He's not playing that up for the camera. When he's trying to be nice to people, thanks Derek and all that extra shit, I don't give a fuck about Derek. I'm saying, has Derek stolen another credit card from his parents yet? No, I don't care. Does he have his own credit card? Okay. But, that's just kind of what Phil is. So he's as toxic as they come. Let's see. I don't steal. Project 7 money? Anybody? Anybody at all? Theoretically, you could DJ Runo, even though he gave the money back, but you know what he said about Runo before he gave it back. Who else has he shitted on over money? A few people. So Project 7 though I think is always gonna hang over his head. He blatantly screwed those people and then tried to retcon it and say, oh, you guys paid that money for a trailer. Not for a reboot of the series, for a trailer. Sure. Whatever you say, buddy. Whatever you say, Porker. And then we have I don't scam. I don't scam. Let's see. How are we gonna play this one out? You could say Jasper. You could say him and Kat's wedding. You could say, oh, I'm personally of the frame of mind that he was never swatted, that was a wellness check. So that would theoretically be a scam to try to gain sympathy. Some people think he faked the flapping the first time around. There's all kinds of different ones, but I would say for sure, definitely Jasper. If we're just talking about in 2019, Jasper making people pay $1,100 for Jasper, which eventually became $2,100, and hiding his wife's wedding, him and his wife's marriage. That was definitely a scam. And the reason why that's a scam is because he lied on his sick and dying parents to gain sympathy, so he could go over there, so him and Kat could go over there, or Catherine, go over there on an all-expense-paid trip, essentially. An all-expense-paid trip, essentially. That was a scam. So, there's that. And I don't beg constantly. Please believe, ladies and gentlemen, I've shown you hundreds of examples. There are even more detractors out there who have given you their examples of his constant begging. It's in the gameplay. It's in the pre-stream is essentially one big begging fest. We have something called the hardcore begging season. Literally a span of months where the begging is ramped up to a fever pitch. The end of the year is a huge begging, a huge begging segment in itself, leading into taxes. It's a cycle. I mean, if nothing, he begs all year. All year is the begging season. It just ramps up. Like I said, usually in the beginning of the summer, because the summer get hot, and certainly around the holidays, where he believes people will be generous and give him money to exist. End of story. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into this. It should be good. And we'll go ahead and play things out accordingly from there, and we'll see how things go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't... Oh, actually, sorry. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh, yes! A GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking yet. But I do smell some SnortBucks coffee brewing. SnortBucks coffee. I love SnortBucks coffee. It's the best part of waking up. That's all I gotta say. It's the best part of waking up. It really is. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work. Shit, I really need to drink that coffee first before we get started. Oh, I'm actually having a latte, but whatever. Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
Time to play the game!
Right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
I'm really excited.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DSP. Boy, showing his mental maturity, I am not toxic. I don't steal. I don't scam. And I don't beg. Constantly. It's from November 19th of 2019. Here we go.
For this week of streaming, because I was actually saying this to Kat last night. I said, you know, this past 2 weeks have been great because I've really been enjoying every stream, you know, that I've played. And sometimes, you know, you'll be in the middle of a game and there's kind of a part of a game that's not super interesting, or you play a game enough that you kind of get a little bit bored of it. And I really haven't been feeling that this past week at all. Like, all these games have been quite good in my opinion. You You know, I would say the one exception would be Death Stranding. There have been, stretches that have been pretty boring. Yesterday was one of them, where for over 3 hours I was just in these mountains going back and forth and I was bored. But then all of a sudden something interesting happens, and it picks up, and then I get excited again. You know, so I've been saying, wow, this has been a really awesome few weeks where, everything's been great. The games have been good. The audience has been really interactive and fun, and I really have enjoyed the streams.
That's awesome stuff. I can't wait. I'm having so much fun now, really, seriously, and I cannot wait for more. This is cool because I'm getting that positive vibe that I had for most of 2017. I'm getting it back now. Now I'm getting that groove back, getting that vibe back. I'm ready for fun stuff. I hope you guys are ready too.
And he gets mad when people call him selfish or greedy or money hungry, and he gets mad at all of that. But look at all of that. Like, that sums it all up. If it wasn't for the fact that the money was good for the last week or two, or whatever the case may be, he wouldn't be feeling the way he's feeling. You guys have all seen Phil when he's down in the gutter and shit, meaning that he only has like $14 or $15 up and he's been streaming for 3 hours. You guys have seen that, and you've seen what his attitude's like. Then you guys see on those chill streams when, $80, $90 is rolling in. He might have broken $100 before even the first hour, and you see how into the game, quote unquote, he's in, or how into the game he's in at that point. If the money's great enough. With that being said, I mean, he doesn't like games. Let's just be honest. He doesn't give a shit about games anymore. You know what I mean? At all. To be honest, I question if he even gives a shit about Street Fighter anymore. Everybody in his era has gone on and actually, well, for the most part, have gone on to do something. They've passed him up. Phil has made this comment, or a comment similar to this, over the span of the year. And I just kind of started thinking about it recently, where he said that if a fighting game was really caught his interest, it would have to really grip him in and hold him for him to jump back into the competitive community. Ladies and gentlemen, for any of you who follow the FGC to any stretch of the imagination, there's no way he can keep up. There's no way at all. Unless he's going in as a personality, from a competitive standpoint, he can't do it anymore. It's over. He can't, and it's not just his reactions, his reflexes, his eyesight. He can't outthink those guys anymore. He just can't. I don't think I debate he ever could, but he definitely can't now. Those you know what I'm saying? The game has changed a lot in the 20 years since Phil was even considered as, not even 20, but like 15 years, I guess, since Phil was actually considered a somebody, if you will. There's no way he could hold a candle to most of those people. And some of the people from his era, and those were just the young guys, the young gunners coming up. For those that came up in his era, they're smarter. They're just smarter players. So for whatever it is that they lack physically, they can make it up, or at least hold it together at least. I really need that latte. Mentally, it is what it is. He can't beat them. And so his limitations in the FGC, for example, translates to his limitations to video games. Even if Phil was considered one of the top guys, he's lazy by nature. He'd never be able to keep up with their productivity and what the level of, what the quality, I shouldn't say level, but the quality of the product. Look at his quality now. It's only dropped further and further and further, rather consistently, ever since he went to the whole just streaming archetype. So, I mean, what else does he really have? What else does he really have to offer? So, I think really this is all just means to an end. I don't know if he's trying to hold out in the hopes that YouTube gets better. I mean, the whole video platform that he was hoping for from Amazon, that's not happening. He can definitely kiss that goodbye, to be honest. Or if nothing else, that's years out. What else does he really have? And what else can he really do? The only thing he really can do now, or well, what he should consider doing, is actually talking. Like, consider actually having like a I don't know, almost like a miniature talk show, if you will. Like, cut out some of the chill streams and do that a few nights a week and watch and just see how the money rolls through. The thing is he has to keep all the lies straight in his head. If he can do that, which he can't, but if he could, but he can't, but if he could, it might be interesting and whatnot, and it might be a bit of mental stimulation that he's, you know, desperately needing at this point. Anyway, just my opinion.
Quite frankly, even though Luigi's Mansion 3 is a great game, I feel a lot of people kind of just didn't pay attention to it or glossed over it. Oh, this is the game I'm skipping to play the others. And that's sad because Luigi's Mansion 3 is actually an outstanding freaking game. And this is what happens this time of year, is that you get too much in one short period of time, and certain games just get kind of missed. And I'm glad that I've had a situation here where I've been able to play all the good games and juggle them and say, man, this is great. You know,
that's not true at all, because how many games just for Nintendo did he skip this year? 3? Maybe 4? Who can tell you how many games, really good games, I should say, or game titles that he skipped on multiple platforms throughout the year? And he can't even juggle the ones that he has. Like, think about that. Think about you calling yourself a variety streamer, right? And then you're playing all these different games. And more often than not, I'd say 80% of them are going to fall by the wayside because you can't hold anybody's interest. Because he'll play 1 or 2 games that is catching a lot of attention. He'll play that for like 2 weeks until he drives them into the ground. And then he'll rotate the other ones in the hopes that those will get hot because people are looking for something different. Then he'll drive those into the ground. That's pretty much what his gaming cycle is. It's finding what game is going to garner the most attention, or games that garner the most attention, and drive those 2 or 3 games into the dirt. Not finishing them, not really even progressing in them, but drive them into the dirt until people show no interest in wanting to see it. And then trying to rotate some new games in and do the exact same thing. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. And that's one of the reasons why, in my own personal opinion, it's taking him longer and longer to finish games. He's trying to milk as much money as he can out of it. If I had to guess, he's going for 10 times what he paid for the game. You know what I'm saying? So game $60, what we're looking at, $600? That's just an assumption. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you for sure. But that's really what it comes down to. It's all just one big ass gaming sweatshop.
What a fun gameplay experience we've had for a few weeks here, right? So again, thank you guys very much for your support. Thanks for hanging out with me on the streams and having a good time. It's been a really great few weeks. I'm looking forward to keeping it going, okay? One final thing before we get to the next segment of pre-stream. I have not mentioned this almost at all, but I feel I should start mentioning it now. On Thanksgiving, which is a week from this Thursday, so that would be 10 days from today. Yes, the 28th. 10 days from today, November 28th. The only stream I'm doing on Thanksgiving Day, which is a holiday here in the United States, is I'm doing Ask the King, my Q&A show. Alright? It's a special edition where, kind of not only do I answer your questions, but I reminisce a lot about, how things have been going and stuff like that. And outside of that, no other streams that day. But I need you guys to post up questions, because the more questions I get for Ask the King, the better the show is. And I haven't mentioned this in so long that I don't think anyone's posted up a question in weeks. So I need you guys to head over to my forums on thekingofhate.com, go to the Ask the King section, okay? And please, yes, by all means, post up your questions for the show, alright? I'm sure you guys have tons of questions for me.
No!
Not really. First things first, since Phil filters all of his questions, he's going to basically just cherry pick it. So he's only going to go with questions that fit his narrative. 2, don't post up any questions on his forum. Fuck his forums. Post them up on Twitter and force him to get it off Twitter. That's what they did last year. You're saving yourself a whole lot of heartache and headache. Well, not heartache, fuck all that, but headache by doing so. Just pose him a bunch of questions on Twitter and force his ass to take him off that. 3rd, it's funny how someone who's asked a bunch of questions year in, year out, and since he cherry picks over a lot of those questions, now he doesn't have enough hug box questions, if you will, to even fulfill a 3-hour show. It's kind of sad, to be honest. This guy, I can't remember how many questions he had last year, but I know on Twitter he had a shitload. And I think he grabbed he probably grabbed less than a dozen. Less than a dozen. Because either A, he was too lazy, or B, he didn't want any of the hard questions or anything that was going to hurt the narrative that he was trying to spin. Like I said, forget his forums. It's a joke. Just force him to ask him a bunch of questions on Twitter and get it that way. Or be real slick and because of his desperation, he now, not perspiration because he sweats enough as this, but desperation, he now has to do a question segment off the actual stream itself. You could ask him a question there, and you could probably get him to answer it for free. So, God damn, I need that latte. It's almost here though. So that's the way of going about it too. Sorry, it's early, but that's also a good way of going about it. Don't go to his forums. Don't go to his forums at all. Speaking of which, if you guys remember, earlier this year, he was talking about getting rid of Ask the King because he couldn't get enough questions. So he's the one who purposely wants to drag this out because Ask the King makes him feel important. So force him to basically sweat his ass out. Make him have to pick out some of the hard questions or the more controversial questions. That's where the money's at anyway. The money isn't in these little hug box type questions he wants anyway. Just, it's not. He's so desperate to have it, but it's not there. Just my opinion, of course. DSP News.
Then I received a $99 tip. I didn't even see this when it came in. $99 tip from some guy. His name is actually some guy. And he says, hey, my main man Phil, I gotta pay my DSP Pro streaming service bill. Honest fan did an 80-bit cheer. He has any plans for a Christmas sweater? What about the pubes?
Huh?
Excited for the hardcore gaming season. Alright. Plans for a Christmas sweater? Yes. And I already own 2 of them that I can wear. Then I have a shirt that I bought last year, and I'm thinking this year I will get one more thing for the Christmas event. More than likely what I'll do is I'll do a lot of wardrobe changes during the event. Okay? Maybe every game I'll switch it up. I'll switch it up. Okay? Now, what about the...
Now, that is pretty thoughtish. Now, the whole point of the Christmas sweater, Phil, because apparently that needs to be explained to you, is most people usually buy one every year. If he was smart, like most people, you actually buy it after the actual season, when you can get a bunch of them usually for a really decent price, or a really cheap price even. And then you do that. But you buy a different sweater each and every year. You know what I mean? If you want to be a thought and change throughout the Christmas marathon, so be it. But what are you going to do? Change back and forth between 2 sweaters? You're being stupid. So that's what he should have done last year. When all those sweaters go on sale, for 50, 60, 70%, this latte is hot as shit. When those sweaters go on sale for about 50, 60, 70% off, just swoop up a couple of them. You know what I mean? Swoop up 3 or 4 of them, and then there you go. That covers you the next year. Then you do the same thing over and over and over again, and that's how you build up all these sweaters. If he's gonna do this for the rest of his life, and he's gonna play this gimmick, then he might as well have them. That you can never have too many sweaters, and trust me, you can never have too many ugly sweaters.
Pubes?
Thanks, Mom.
Huh?
I'm a mature adult with a business degree.
What about the pubes? I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
His disdain for PewDiePie is amazing. It's just imagine, ladies and gentlemen, you being so pathetic of an individual that currently the biggest YouTuber on YouTube, who may or may not have watched your content back in the day, but it's not that much of a stretch, ends up surpassing you by leaps and bounds that you could never reach, and you resent him for it. He says he resents him because he made fun of him on Twitter or whatever, but you resent him so much for it that every time even something inkly innate to his name comes up, you know what I'm saying, you have to act like this. But then again, this is the same ass clown who Pro Jared made an offhanded tweet, and Phil sat around and waited for him for 3 fucking years. Now, granted, as it pertains to that situation, I believe Phil was actually waiting for 5 years because of a joint a convention that they were both at, and Pro Jared basically took the whole crowd, and DSP was pissed off about it. But whatever. Let's go with the Twitter lore, I guess, since it's comfortable. You sat there and got mad at Pro Jared over an offhanded tweet, and you basically laid in wait for him for 3 years. The fuck up. That right there kind of immediately shatters this whole mental maturity bullshit. Seriously. 3 years. Over a tweet. Over a tweet.
What a crazy question. Are you going to wear some nice festive Christmas sweaters during your holiday event? Yes. What about the pubes? What? Oh, people say it was a typo? Then what was he trying to say? What was he trying to say? Honest fan, what were you trying to say? What the hell kind of a... What kind of a typo is that? How did you manage to type that? What were you trying to type? I'm waiting for his answer. I'm not getting one. It's like, Garfinator says, was he trying to type PUBG? Maybe he was trying to type PUBG. And, now wait a minute. So if he's trying to type PUBG...
So we're going to derail the whole stream because we can't tell the difference between, given the context of the sentence, between either PewDiePie or pubics. This is what we've come to. So one could debate that Phil's derailing his stream over pubic hairs. God damn it, Phil. Seriously.
But his computer auto-corrected to pubes. That means that he types the word pubes often enough that it thinks that he wanted to say pubes. So this guy types the word pubes quite a lot. What is going on?
Be mature adults. Be mature adults. Don't do any crazy stuff. Act your age, okay? Act mature.
I don't know what's going on. We're going to move on from this topic at this point. Anyway, what about PUBG? I mean, yeah, people want to see PUBG. I would consider playing it during the Christmas event, but it's up to the people to nominate and then vote on that. I'm leaving it in the hands of the viewers. So
people need to nominate for him to play Blackout. Just go back to that until the Battle Royal for Modern Warfare ever gets patched in. Just play Black. I don't know why he even stopped playing Blackout. He can play 2 Call of Duties at once. There are plenty of YouTube Call of Duty commentators who do so. So why would he have any? Why would he have any? Why would he have a negative outlook on that? It's not that big of a deal. I don't know. It is what it is, and that he was so proud of the handful of wins that he got off that game anyway. So why give that up just for the newer game?
By the way, no, nothing about. I will not be doing anything with pubes on the Christmas event, just for clarification's sake. It was a fun stream, although I'll be honest, a lot of people didn't really talk to me tonight. I don't know why. People were just kind of having their own conversations and trying to derail with weird stuff, weird questions in the stream chat.
I don't know. I guess what it is, this game, sadly... I was saying this to someone in stream chat earlier, I think it was Combat. I said, this game, when it came out on Halloween, was really pertinent because it was Halloween. But immediately when Halloween ended, it was kind of like, the gimmick of the game, the ghosts and everything wore out. And then immediately after the release of this game, we had multiple new releases. So, people, like...
So then why didn't you have a Halloween marathon that was strictly Luigi's Mansion? Why'd you do that? And if he had done that, that marathon, personally, would have probably been more productive. Not only that, he would have also probably finished the game in a timely manner too. But he's stupid, you see, so that didn't happen.
Stopped talking about this game like right away, and really didn't get a lot of traction. I really like the game, but it seems like we're not really getting that much attention on it. So I put enough time, and I'm definitely going to beat it. So I feel the negativity.
See what I was saying earlier on about how he likes to drag games out, essentially? And he'll drill it into the ground until no one gives a shit and then try to rotate something back in? That's his problem. He's still treating Twitch like YouTube. And literally trying to bleed a playthrough out for 100 parts, or in this current case, 10 months on a single game until he finishes it. That's an exaggeration, but you guys know what I mean.
Decrease, yes, because it's different. Allow me to explain. It used to be...
Wow. Phil is a complete embarrassment, a joke. Absolutely no reason to ever watch Phil's content whatsoever because he's a bad human. and basically that's the bottom line.
Now it's
Well, this whole human thing, whatever. You're a bad person. You're a terrible gamer. You're a terrible internet personality. You're a terrible YouTuber. You're a terrible Twitch streamer. You're a terrible streamer in general. Yeah, I'd say all those things still hold weight, to be honest with you. The only time that you even get an influx in viewers, if it's drama or if it's chill stream hate. That's it. That's where a lot of it comes from. Even day one releases. When's the last time you broke over 1,000 on a day one game? I can't remember when you've done that. At least I can't even remember you doing. Well, I know you've done it before, but I can't remember you've done it in the last maybe 6 or 7 months. Drama though you have, you almost always break 1,000 on that. You're just not. I mean, I mean, you don't have a choice really, but in actuality, you should just accept it. But you can't because this is what you do, and you can't do anything else. That's what happens when you box yourself into a very, very, very small box.
what it's become is, oh, there's still people who don't like me, but these are people who, it's not because they legitimately think that, like, I'm a bad person. They just like to laugh, and he's the lol cow or whatever, right?
And then basically laugh at me. So they're not laughing with me. These are people who are here just to deride me and laugh at me, okay? Laughing at a guy acting like a girl, a screaming sissy girl.
It's not true hate. It's either.
But you're the one who said that everybody hates you. There are plenty of detractors out there, including myself, that said I don't hate you. I hate what you do. You know what I mean? I hate how you treat people. I hate how you manipulate people. I hate how you lie to people. But I don't hate you. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate you. You know what I mean? I just hate what you do.
Derision, but kind of saying, okay, we still like the fact that Phil exists. Even though we may not like the guy, we still like the fact that he exists because we get laughs out of it. Or it's people who are like, okay, he's not as bad as people say, and we know that, and we want Phil to continue to, be able to do his content.
If that was the case, then why can't you get more support in these desperate times, in these dark days, if you will, that you consistently have each and every month? It's funny how he keeps saying that, oh, the narrative about me has changed. But viewership isn't going up. YouTube video views aren't going up. Hence the reason why he keeps bitching about ad revenue. And the contributions haven't gone up, really. It's usually just the same couple of people, and that's it. Where's the next new whale? Or whales, to be honest. Where's just the new pay piggies at? But he keeps telling you about all these positive outlooks that people have, are starting to have about him. But where's the results of it? It's almost as if it doesn't exist. It's almost as if he lies to people and tells them that, oh yeah, all these people are seeing me as a good person, it's almost as if people would feel confident in supporting him and giving him money. But that's counterintuitive, because he ain't sat there and fear-mongered them and told them that, oh, if you guys want to contribute to me, there's a bunch of ways of doing it, because I've got these brain-dead sickos that are after me, and they're going to dox you or they're going to expose you if you give me large amounts of money. He's the one who fear-mongered all that. He's the one who pig-whistled and pig-splained all that, which is the reason why very few people want to contribute to him out in the open. He still ain't figured that out yet. Hence the reason why I'm pushing the argument that more often than not, there's probably a whole bunch of money given to him behind the scenes, off stream, that we don't know about. People giving large tips anonymously off stream, and Phil doesn't acknowledge those things on stream, because why would he? Why would he want to tell people that, oh, I just received $1,000 on stream? Why would I mean off stream, sorry. On my day off, for example. Why would he tell people that? Look at what he did with that whole $1,100 when Tevin exposed the whole situation with the sorry about that. With the Streamlabs, with the whole tip leaderboard. And he fought that damn near tooth and nail, despite the fact that we had him dead to rights. Just saying. DSP News.
Because he has a place on internet history, even if he might not be the best streamer and, he makes a lot of mistakes or whatever, we want to see him at least continue to exist and be successful.
Your place in internet history is horrible. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of taking whatever you can get. Your mark your shit stain, if you will, actually, on internet history is horrible. No one would want that. Most people would walk away before they get to this point. You couldn't. You thought, I'm going to bully all those people off. Then you went ahead and performed gay ops, which you're still doing, actually, to try to get those people taken off. Then you tried to lie and try to make people believe that you were a better person, and you tried to change, but you couldn't keep that up because you're the same negative piece of shit, and you can't let that go because that's in your nature. And given the look that you have right now, proves that. You can't fix this. You could have years ago, but see, you thought you still held good cards. You thought you were still the man, and you thought you had nothing to worry about. Oh, I'll just go ahead and squash those guys out and fuck all them, and I'm going to just keep it moving. You kept moving because you really had no choice. But now there's more of us. And each and every one of us come at you on a different angle, and you can't fight everything off. That's obvious. Hence the reason why you only want to target Tevin. Which still doesn't help you, because when he does his thing, he still beats you. There are people in your audience, current as well as past attendees and or mods and then pay piggies or whatever, who have I wouldn't say all of them, but most of them have admitted that out of the detractors, the majority of them watched Tevin. They always did, even while they were loyal to you. You don't see that being a problem, idiot? Still don't see any issue with that at all, right? Crazy. Crazy.
Like I said, a lot of people to this year kind of flipped their opinion on me, where they used to be, oh man, that guy's a joke, I hate him, versus, oh, actually he's not that bad, and I watch his stuff, I know his true story, it's kind of interesting, and I wish him the best, even though I'm not going to watch his stuff all the time or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely don't think that there's, like, as many people who are just like, I adamantly...
They know your true story off what? That debunking stream that you did? That's 7 years of debunking, and you only addressed, what, 2 years? Maybe 3? But they got your whole story now. What about doing their due diligence and actually going back and actually doing their research and actually finding out what the deal is? Now you're saying that them watching you on a stream using a detractor list to try to debunk, which you didn't debunk anything, is knowing your whole story now and automatically people change their opinion about you. Sure. Okay. That just makes a whole lot of sense.
Hate fucking Phil, I hate his guts, I wish that he would die in a fire and shit like that, you know? And there was, for a while, it was that.
No one's wishing for you to die, let alone wishing you to die in a fire. But that's actually a good thing you brought up, though, because you have wished people to die before, or bodily harm, or just acts of violence in general. And you've wished people specifically to die in a fire. 2 people that I can remember for sure. But all those people somehow turned that around and wished it on you. Interesting, right, ladies and gentlemen? Look at the face that's, if you have an opportunity, that's on your screen right now. This man right here has wished death upon people. He has wished violence on people. And, as I said just a minute ago, he wished for people to die in fires himself. But look at him. He's the victim, though. Sure.
Not bad. You know what I mean? It was that fucking bad, where I just felt like I really didn't have many true fans. But I don't think that's the case anymore.
You didn't have true fans? Patreon? And the people who supported it? The people who sent you, the guy who sent you the Switch? The guy who sent you the PS4 Pro? The guy, well, you bought the TV yourself, but you tried to lie and say someone else did. What about the people who were flagging videos for you? What about the people that you used, and that's still on quote-unquote, to get 3 people deplatformed off Twitch? But you never had any true fans or true supporters. What about Brightside Viking and all the money he gave and all his years of service? Never had any true fans, though. Okay, sure. Makes sense.
Are you ever going to have a meaningful relationship at all? How can you only be about yourself? Isn't that a lonely existence, to only trust yourself and only care about yourself?
What about when you lost your job and you asked people to click the ads on your videos and they went all crazy because they felt so bad about you? What about them as fans? What about those people who used to send you P.O. Box opening gifts and stuff like that? What about them? What about the people who do your fan art for you? What about the people who do your layouts for you? What about any person who's ever done anything for you? who wasn't a friend of yours. But no true fans though, right? Okay.
And not have meaningful human interactions, always suspecting that at one moment someone's going to backstab you.
Trust me, the people who right now are doing this or making fun of me full time, they don't have good lives. They're not good people. They're fucked up. That's why they do what they do. They're doing. If they
That's
have,
funny because you said you used to do the exact same thing, so that would make you equally as fucked up as they are, would it not? Also, who does this full time? Because I know you're running around saying that people are making a living off this. Who's making a living off of you? Here's another look. This is, I call this gin face, because this is what Phil looks like when he's sloppy. I'm sure Catherine has seen it quite a few times. But they're not good people, though. This is coming from a person who has, like as I said earlier, has wished violence on people, who's had people deplatformed, who's had people's videos taken down, who's had people's channels taken down, all because they had an opinion of them. But we're all bad people because we make some videos laughing at them, which literally a few sentences ago he was okay with, because we don't hate him, we're just using him for a cheap laugh. Now all of a sudden, oh, we're all fucking doing this full time, we're all apparently making a living off this in some way, shape, or form. We're not good people, we're all sick in the head. I want you to think about that. This is the same guy who chased off a fiancé, right? And then ended up paying to get another mail order bride-ish type person to move in a couple months later. Well, almost a year later. But he was in correspondence with her literally right after Panda left. I theorize he was talking to Catherine before that. But like I said, it's just a theory. Not a Theo theory, but it's a theory. But we're all the sick people there, right? This is the same individual who shits on the very people who are watching him right now, then has the nerve to beg them for money, then praises them for supporting him, and then shits on him and shits on them again later for not giving them not giving him enough support. That's who this individual is. It's the same individual who's given, in his words, great life advice when he himself doesn't have enough experience to even give that. We're talking about someone who is almost blatantly wrong in the majority of stuff that he talks about that has to do with real life. He doesn't have a clue. This is the same idiot who is broke and begging for money day after day after day, but he has the nerve to tell you how other bigger YouTubers and streamers spend their money, and how they use their money, and how they obtain their money. Yet he can't figure out how to do that himself. He's so quick to throw some type of shade at somebody else that when it happens to him and it can be proven that he's fucked up, all of a sudden everybody's out to slander him. I understand the truth hurts. The truth hurts, but I didn't think it was this crazy. But remember, he's the sane one, though. He's the one who's mature.
Positive, fun life to focus on, they wouldn't be constantly stealing my content and making fun of me. Why? Why would you do that? You would be doing your own thing. You know what I mean? Why would you give a fuck? Oh, I don't even know. Daki's first says, who's the worst detractor now? Dude, I wouldn't have a clue.
You know,
I wouldn't have a clue yet. I thought it was Tevin's fault all day, every day. My bad. I already cut in. My bad. Shit.
There's a sick motherfucker on the internet called Tevin who likes to illegally restream my fucking streams and has an army of fucking trolls who are the only reason why he has any notoriety is because he copies my shit, and he eggs his trolls on to do negative shit like this, to come to my stream and to basically make fun of my girlfriend and do nasty shit.
I wouldn't have a clue. I don't know.
Now, here's the crazy part about that. The clip in its entirety was basically him doing a call to arms. You know what I'm saying? He was basically pig squealing to get people to come to his aid to try to help him take down Tevin. This is after he already had Tevin and two other fellows deplatformed off Twitch. Yet he's somehow still the victim after he had 3 people who weren't doing any content on him on that platform deplatformed. This is the same idiot who got caught trying to get videos taken down behind the scenes, if you will, was performing gay ops basically behind the scenes to get people's videos taken down. And that was what? End of 2017, beginning of 2018. Yet, he's the victim. He's the one who's going through all this bullshit. He's the one who said that, oh, he's going to Tevin's going to get his up and comings. It's not going to be me. I'm not going to be the one to do it, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen because he's pissed off the wrong people and they're coming after him. And I'm not going to have anything to do with it. You remember that nonsense? You remember that nonsense? But yet, he's the victim. And apparently, he doesn't know who's the worst of his detractors. Wow.
Who's the most malicious? See, the thing is, I know there's people who do this like almost daily. They steal my shit and restream it, but they're usually doing it just to make money. Like, they're doing it because they can make a buck doing it. They're not doing it because they actually genuinely hate my guts. They're doing it because they can make money doing it. Oh, I can make fun of Phil all day. I'll make money doing it.
Oh my god!
Even though it's illegal, they still don't care. They're still raking the dough because they know I can't afford to sue them, and YouTube doesn't give a fuck. So, I don't know who's actually out there who's the most... What I would say is the people who really are the worst are the people who just literally fabricate...
Even if you did have the money, you would just end up like that one cuck who tried to sue H3 Productions and you'd lose. Like, so what's the point? Exactly. Or you're going to end up like Maddox. You want to do that? You want to end up like Maddox? Dude's in debt, lives in a studio apartment. I don't know. That shit was... I saw it on Josh from Kiwi Farms YouTube on one of his streams. That shit was sad. That shit was sad as fuck to look at. It was like literally lives in a hole in the wall. A slightly nicer hole in the wall, but still a hole in the wall nonetheless. So you suing someone wouldn't have... You'd be screwing yourself over. You'd literally be throwing away tens of thousands of dollars for nothing. And you can keep fighting it all you want because the lawyer is going to take your money. You can see that in the Kick Vic case. At least on what's her name? On Monica, Toye, and Marchie. On all of them. And shit, their lawyers are racking up on them. Like, that's just getting crazy. But whatever, that's a whole nother story for another day. So, yeah, they'll take advantage of you. As long as you keep paying them, they'll go ahead and act like they're still doing something. But you're not going to get anything from it. What are you going to do? Come up on YouTube videos and be like, I just talked to my lawyer today. They're coming after you, Tevin. They're coming after you in your fucking shit face and your shithead fan base, Tevin. You're going to end up paying for this, Tevin. We're all going to just sit there and laugh at you. What are they going to do? They're going to take me to jail for laughing? I understand. Oh, well, my bad. Are they going to take me to prison for laughing? Because they're going to take Tevin to jail for restreaming you. So I guess I go to prison for laughing at it, right? So is that what they're going to do? They're going to arrest all of us? Seriously? This right here is, I like to call this Phil the Blockhead. Now, I'm a huge fan of Charlie Brown and the Peanuts, so I hate to have to use that. But Phil is very much a blockhead. Very much so.
And lie things on purpose. The people who are saying, "Oh, Phil rage quit a game," but I didn't rage quit the game. They took a clip of me raging at a game out of context to say I rage quit a game, and then they get clickbait off of it and shit. Because people believe dumb shit like that.
Still believe that I rage quit and I stole money and I scammed.
Like, the perfect example about this would be yesterday. So yesterday...
Before he gets into that, he's already fucked himself in this sentence. Because he says the people who believe it are fucking dumb. Or gullible or dumb fucks. He says that all the time about the people who he believes or he perceives to believe everything that's said. These are the people that he's supposed to be trying to pander to come to his side, right? These are the people, these are the viewers who he's hoping to try to convince that, hey, I'm not as bad as a person, or I'm not the one who did all these things. But when you call them idiots, when you call them stupid, when you call them gullible, how can you have them see things your way? When you've already off the rip, you've already insulted them. Because you perceived or you assumed that you knew that you perceived or assumed that they've already come to a conclusion about you, even before he's even heard what their thought was on it. He's already insulted them off the rip, and it's because of that is the reason why people don't like him. Hate him, I can't speak for everybody, but but it's very easy to see why people don't like him. He's not a likable individual. He's very emotional. And because he's emotional, it's easier for him to be controlled. And he's being, theoretically, when he's doing this little, whatever this is, he's being controlled right now. And he's too stupid to see it. He'd rather fall into the same trap over and over and over again and feel special, get his dopamine for a few minutes, and then have to deal with the fallout of this for months, if not years to come. But everybody else is retarded, though, right?
You guys remember the situation where No Couture tipped me $20 and said, give that to a viewer. And I said, sorry, I don't want to do it that way because there's taxes and everything involved, so I refunded his money.
How many people out yesterday said Phil stole money from a viewer? Phil pocketed money that was supposed to go to a viewer.
See what I mean? That's hurtful because idiots will believe that. They didn't come back.
Okay, if I remember that situation correctly, you initially was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, just to let you know. So you essentially was going to pocket his money. That was essentially your plan. Because if not, you would have told him immediately, hey man, I can't do that. I'm going to refund you your money. You didn't do that until what? That was in the early stream, so you didn't actually talk about refunding the guy his money back until the night stream. You wanted to see how things were going to blow over. So I would assume he was on Kiwi Farms and he was on Twitter seeing what people were saying, and that's what made him do the refund. Because last thing we need is another DJ Runo situation, right? So don't act like, don't sit there and act like you were, trying to play this on the straight and narrow. You planned to screw that guy out of his money. And for what? Because, I can't go ahead and get this guy, what was it, the expansion to Monster Hunters or whatever it was. You're telling me that Phil Burnell couldn't go ahead, because the money's already been given to him, transfer it to his PayPal, which is going to go there anyway. Go on to whatever store, pick it up, digitally, and then pass the code over to the guy that, he's supposed to be transferring to. He's crying about paying the tax on that. That's what he was crying. And here's the crazy part. If he pocketed the money, he'd have had to pay the taxes on it anyway. So what's the difference? Because he wasn't going to get to keep the money. Because he would have had to give it to somebody else, and he might take the hit. For all the money that he's given, day after day, week after week, month after month on stream, this $20 is asking too much. It's too much to pay taxes on this 20. This 120 is going to break Phil and his taxes, so he can't do it. When he didn't even pay his taxes in 2018. Mommy did. Mommy Burnell paid that. So what the fuck's he talking about taxes for when his mother's taking care of that? Because he ain't man enough to do it on his own. DSP News.
The late stream to see that I had refunded the money, and then No Couture came back and said, sorry about that, I won't do that next time, but by the way, here's the tip to make up for it or whatever. You see what I mean? Like, they don't do that. They only report half a story or spin on it that's negative without the full story, and then dumbasses believe it. That hurts me, because that will actually genuinely stop new people from checking out my content when they see a million negative things about me all over the internet,
I just want more money. I just care about myself.
I will keep ignoring the hate, because at this point, the hate doesn't really have any constructive purpose to it anymore. Admittedly, when people first started strongly criticizing me on the internet, it was things like, man, Phil doesn't even do direct capture yet. Man, Phil really just unfairly rages at every fucking game and over the top acts like an asshole to every game developer of every game. And if he took his time to do game playthroughs that were more involved, to do side content and to be more robust, and if he did things that were like ways to give back to his fans, like interacting with them and stuff like that rather than ignoring them, he'd be a better content creator. So what did I do over the years? I adopted direct capture, I became a live streamer, I started doing more long-form playthroughs with more involved content, focusing in on the game and taking my time with it instead of rushing through it. I started playing less games so I could focus in more on the games that I played and enjoyed them more. Then I started doing interactive streams, so literally, all the
Shut that shit up. First things first. As it pertains to direct capture, ladies and gentlemen, let's not fall for the bullshit. He could have adopted direct capture 3 or 4 years before he actually did. 3 or 4 years before he actually did. And he's admitted this. That's the first thing. And the only reason why he did it is because he was falling so far behind that he was losing viewership. People were tired of telling him, hey man, you need to go to this. You need to up the quality. You need to up the audio and the visuals. And Phil didn't want to, and he came up with all these different excuses, and he bought other cameras to try to compensate, and he said he tried to mess with, camera settings and whatnot to make things better, and people started to pick up and leave. And he didn't do it and he didn't actually go to direct capture until his back was against the wall. Hence the reason why he went to streaming in the first place, or went to direct capture and streaming, because he did that around the same time. He did that because, yet again, he had no choice. And he still had John there and Howard at the time, so it paid off. He did it mainly so he could basically profit off of them. So that's what happened there. Let's talk about this interactivity and all the extra nonsense that came along with it. He did it because he had no choice. If Phil could have gone ahead and kept making his shitty videos and not interacting with anybody, which is what he wants, he would have. He hates streaming because he doesn't like the idea that he's at other people's beck and call. He doesn't like the idea of having to interact with people. He doesn't like the idea of having to thank people for giving him money. Just give me the cash and shut the fuck up. Don't expect nothing. I give you this. I'm providing you this free service in air quotes. So just pay me for it. That's what that is. Phil hates streaming. And he hates feeling like he's obligated to other people. He hates feeling like he's not in control. So no. And all of these things that people asked him to do and make these changes, it took him years to do those things. Years. It's not like he didn't have the money. It's not like he didn't have the people around him that had the know-how. It took him years because he didn't want to do it. He wanted to keep doing things his way because he felt like he was a unique fucking snowflake. And he felt like if he changed and tried to become like everybody else, he'd be a corporate shill. He would be just another cookie cutter YouTuber. It's funny how all the cookie cutter YouTubers actually made a shitload of money. That are actually living really well. That can actually take care of their parents instead of their parents taking care of him. Or them, I should say. And look at where Phil's at. In a house that he can't take care of that's probably falling apart. Right? That's why he has to keep running to the bank every couple months to see if he can get his house refinanced. But then but while still doing that, trying to convince the bank to let him refinance, he has the nerve to jump up on stream and says, oh, I make way more money than Tevin does, even though Tevin has way more viewership. Tevin ain't running to the bank to try to get his house refinanced. Tevin don't have a bunch of fucking credit card debt. Or at least he's smart enough not to talk about it. You're the one that has to deal with that, Phil. Every change that Phil Burnell has ever made for his air quotes business, he did it because he had to. Because he had put it off for a number of years and he had no choice. That's not being innovative. That's not him listening to the fucking fan base. He just did it because he had no choice.
Criticism that was thrown at me over the years, I adapted and I improved my content for, okay?
Years later and no one gives a shit. You got 160, 180,000 subs on YouTube, can't even break 10,000. Yeah, you sure as hell listen, Phil. Just too little too goddamn late. And that's after insulting those same people saying, oh, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm the one who's the success on YouTube. You just watch me. So you can't tell me nothing. Just like the guys who built his website, shitted on them. The same guys who built the website helped build his first PC, shitted on them. All the people who tried to give him good advice, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Turn them into detractors. But he's changed, though. He's changed now. Right? He blatantly lies to you guys to your faces about how he couldn't afford a pet. He couldn't afford to get married. Right? How his parents are sick and dying and he has to go and visit them for 5 days. But he's a better person now, though. It's the detractors that are the sickos. He's a good person now. Fuck out of here.
Yes, there's still a few very small things like, oh, get a green screen or whatever for your office. Those are little negligible things that aren't necessarily big things. You know what I mean? Like
really? That's funny because he said the same thing about direct capture all those years ago. He said that exact same thing about direct capture. Oh, it's not that important. It's not that big of a deal. Now it's almost I guess it's fair to say, it's the community standard when it comes to streaming if you're someone who has a face cam. But it doesn't mean anything, though. Right. And that's why Phil has, 662 subs and has only $34 out of 100, right? And he doesn't even have, I'd say consistently or consecutively, he probably doesn't even have 400 people watching him. So we got 262 subs for who? For a bunch of phantom people there who, because a few whales or a couple pay piggies threw the money at him so he could reach his next sub goal. But he's doing so well, though, right? By having all these inflated numbers. Well, not the tips. The tips are just pathetic. The tips are just pathetic. But the subs are just inflated for what?
Most of the major feedback I ever got, I listened to, and it took me a while, but I adapted and I changed, and I feel like I'm a better streamer and a better content creator now because of it. But now, what are the criticisms?
Phil steals from his fans. Well, that doesn't happen. I had to lie about things because I had to protect my family, right? So that's not a criticism. That's slander.
Shouldn't it be it didn't happen, not it doesn't happen? It should have been it didn't happen, meaning ever. Because it kind of acknowledges that you've done it before, but you don't do it now. I don't know. Whatever. He's the valedictorian.
Oh, Phil's a scammer. Well, that doesn't happen. That's not criticism. That's, you see what I mean?
Whoa. That's not valid. That's not criticism. That's, what happened? Why didn't you call that slander? Why didn't you say that was lies? Why didn't you say that was bullshit? Why'd you abandon that? Oh boy. That's kind of scary. That's kind of like, oh no, there's too many videos out there of me fucking over people out of large sums of money. I might not be able to explain all that away, like Project 7. Which is funny too, because Phil likes to talk about karma, right? Let's talk about karma. He sat there and fucked all those people, and all those kids, and all those wheelchair symbols, and all those just gullible people out of that money for Project 7, for Street Fighter 5. Only to hate the shit out of Street Fighter 5 and have I would say one of the few bastions of people to give a shit about him still leave him because he fucked him out of Project 7 money. Wow. That's being a good businessman right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's textbook. Sorry. That was textbook maneuvering right there. Well done. Well done.
Streams are too long. Fair enough, but if I shorten my pre-stream, now no one knows anything that's going on, and people would complain that all of my gameplay is me gabbing about stuff that has nothing to do with the game to my viewers, so I try to get it out of the way early, okay?
So wait a second, so you're going to regurgitate the same shit to people day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, and they can't seem to hold on to the information? If that's the case, would that not be a problem? You don't see that being an issue within your audience? On top of the fact that the schedule that you put out and every other little thing you regurgitate is pretty much on Twitter too. You don't see nothing wrong with being extremely repetitive like that? That's not an issue? There's no problem with that whatsoever. And then this look right here, that another one of those sad, far-off looks. When he says something stupid, but he has to live with it because he really believes it. It's a sad moment. Also, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you're not following it, on Twitter, there's an account called the Goutopian Museum of Unnatural Art. It's a great account, and the head of that museum, Loco Slams, a good friend of mine, and we look for moments like this. So if you feel the need to, please screen cap it. If you want to throw some caption on it, go ahead and tweet it at the account. It'll very much appreciate it. Sad look. Sad look.
That's a criticism that's valid, but I don't know how I could fix that one, okay? So
we're going to skip the scam part. We're going to say that the pre-stream is too long, but I don't know how to fix that. When he came from having pre-streams that used to be, because I'm watching some of the older ones, at least the ones that people were able to preserve, that used to be 15, 20 minutes to about 30, 35 minutes to now hours. Like sometimes the pre-streams get up to the 2-hour mark, and he don't know how to fix it. This is his business. This is his stream. This is his schedule. I don't know how to fix it. I'm not smart enough to do that. Wow.
He begs for money on his streams. Well, guess what? False. What? What?
The only thing that he seemed to be hung up on so far is the scam part. He couldn't even try to deflect that, which is kind of funny. But the begging part, this should be good.
What? What? I will on a pre-stream. I will mention it. Maybe once or twice during gameplay, I'll mention tipping, and that's it. I'm not constantly begging for money. It's completely false. That's not criticism. That's slander.
So there, you see what I mean? Like, the things that are against me aren't criticisms anymore. It's slander. It's actually making shit up to make me look bad when it's not actually what happens on my stream. How is it that people come to my streams constantly these days and they say
he really another look and whatnot? Because it's funny too. Because when he lies, he's always looking down, or he's always looking up, or he's definitely always looking away. It's really, really just silly for someone. Why have a face cam? You're literally a natural born liar. Not a good one, but you're a natural born liar. Why have a face cam? How does that help anybody? You especially. And how many of you guys have watched a Tevin stream, watched an LSB stream, watched a James the Lesser stream, a Dark Dave Mirror stream, watch a live investigation with Agent Proper, and you hear all the begging that goes on in those things? Especially on a really slow night. Or the whole, hey guys, don't forget the tip, man. I really need the tip now to afford games, or I got bills, or I have overdrafts. And you hear that more than 2 times in a night. Or through a game playthrough. Especially if you guys show up for the night stream. And the morning stream was slow. Like he only made his little 13 or 14 bucks. Oh boy, that night stream, he's making sure people know, hey guys, I need you guys' support right now because the first stream was slow and I don't understand why, but I really need your guys' help. Or what about the dedicated YouTube videos that he put out telling people on YouTube, you guys need to step up. You guys are taking me for granted. And you guys really need the help. What about those moments, ladies and gentlemen? Entire videos dedicated to telling people to step up and give him money. Begging is another word for it, I'm told. What about that? Just throwing it out there. I'm just trying to cover my bases. You know what I'm saying?
you know, this is weird, because I've heard so many negative things about you, but then when I come to your stream, none of that actually happened. Like, what it is they take this stuff out of context. You know, you do a 5-6 hour stream in the morning, and out of that, maybe 30 minutes is dedicated to talking about money and, you know, how people can help you or whatever.
Wait, what? No. I'd say it's probably closer to 45. That depends on how long the pre-stream is, though. If the pre-stream is 2 hours, it's almost guaranteed an hour of that shit's about money. And when I say it's about money, not just the begging and the reasons why he's begging, but then the shout-out segment and everything that goes on with it. Because the shout-out segment is still begging. It's still kind of classified as begging. Just saying. That's the residuals from the begging. It's still part of the begging, though.
That was all about the game and fun interaction. So why are they acting like that's all you do? Because they're lying and slandering to make money on YouTube. That's why. So it's not like it used to be, where back in the day it was actual valid criticism.
It was actual valid criticism that you ignored, that you lied about, that you shrugged off. You gave no shits about any of that stuff until years and years and years later, when you had no choice but to do it. Now all of a sudden, oh, none of the criticism is valid against you, and everybody's out here to do it just for money. And so what about the people who don't make a profit off any of this and still do it? Does that make them any more or any less valid? Wow.
Improve. Now it's just lies. So when you're just lying constantly, I can't improve. I don't know what to do to get better if you just make shit up constantly. No. Frog Froggerson says, do you think you would have had less haters if you weren't quite so mean back in your earlier days? Because here's the thing. The haters today are not the people from back then. Most of the people from back then who didn't like me have moved on.
They long understood that I'm not worth wasting time on.
And shit like that. You know, they saw that I've changed over the years. Okay.
No. First off, some of them are around. A lot of them aren't. He's true about that. Did they say, do a lot of them feel like that he probably isn't worth the time? Yeah, I would say so. Unless something really good comes out of the woodworks. But they long understood that he's starting to get better now, and that's the reason why they left him alone? No. A lot of that is circumstance, to be honest with you. A lot of them just generally moved on. They had wives, they have kids, they just have shit to do. But they still dabble in it because Phil sees a lot of them guys on Twitter. They just don't actively make videos on them. And I don't even know if any of them even engaged in gay ops back in those days. So I can't even speak on that. But for him to go ahead and try to almost co-op the founding fathers of detractors and say, oh, they don't even look at me negatively anymore. And all these people that are running around here now, they're descendants. They need to get them in line, because if your forefathers don't hate me anymore, why do you guys still hate me? That's pretty much what he's trying to spiel here. That's pretty much what he's trying to say. I'm pretty sure every detractor chose their reasons for moving on. There's no problem with that. But for Phil to sit there and say, I'm not that bad of a person, look at why these guys aren't on my neck no more, maybe the rest of you guys need to take a hint, is pathetic. That's kind of sad. I would have expected a little bit better. But then, I've been foolish to do so.
And the rest of the board goes unselected.
People who do it now are literally doing it to make a living doing it. They want to make money making fun of me. And they've realized I am a person that people latch onto to follow for dramatic memes, for things that most of the time I am not even involved in. People create ridiculous scenarios that I'm not involved with at all to get their own fucking jollies out of the situation. And these aren't the same people. You know, yes, was I a mean asshole who was obstinate and stubborn and just being a dickhead back in the day? Of course I was. I've mentioned this many times. I've fessed up. I'm a much different person now than I used to be. But those people from back then don't hate me now. You know what I mean? What it is people saw the people who
What
used
proof
to...
do you have? Someone get Fred Fucks on the phone. I want to see what Fred has to say about this shit. Someone get any ex-member of the SOK on Twitter or whatnot. Find out what they think about Phil. I don't... Now, like I said, do I think any of them hated him? No. Do I think any of their opinions have changed of him? Probably not. So he blatantly lying to himself here. And it's funny too, right? Because when that main group, SOK, when they ended up falling apart and shit, you remember how Phil was pretty much dancing all over their graves on that shit? How do they feel about you, Phil? And a lot of them dudes have been around for a while. I need answers. I need answers.
hate on me, get popular because of it, and I gotta jump on that bandwagon and make a buck for myself. And it's pathetic. It's fucking such a loser attitude. Yeah, Wings trolls pollute this chat. I mean, I'm well aware that a lot of the people who come to my stream chat are people who troll Wings. I really don't know anything about the guy, besides what you guys tell me. I know nothing about the man at all. On a personal level, I don't know what kind of a guy he really is. All I hear
Wait. Isn't this the same guy who said that I've given him 2 chances? Once when he lied on me about the podcast, and then the second one when he lied on him about Battlefield or whatever that was, or maybe Call of Duty World War II, one of those 2 games, and shit. And that right there was a testament to his character. I've given him 2 chances. He fucked me over both times. Fuck him. I never want to talk to him again. Now all of a sudden, this idiot right here is falling into his inner, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is right now. It must be some type of early form of dementia or some shit. Anyway, he's falling into himself now and saying that I don't know anything about the man. I know nothing about him. I don't never frequent any of his content or anything. When this idiot right here is damn near can recite multiple Wings of Redemption memes by heart, but he don't know shit about shit. And though there is a crossover audience between DSP and Wings of Redemption, because of course there would be, you're telling me this idiot Phil wouldn't actually look into it a little bit just to see what he can make out of it? He already has expressed his disdain for Jordy. So you're telling, or Wings of Redemption, Jordan, whatever. But so you're telling me that he wouldn't go the extra step to go in there and see if he could see what the whole hubbub is about? Isn't this the same idiot who said that, oh, if I don't understand a meme, it's not funny, you guys need to stop? So you're telling me this idiot right here wouldn't go over there and watch a couple Detractor channels to actually see what's up, Wing Detractor channels, to see kind of what's the deal with Wings and what did they make fun of him of? Now, I understand, because it's been brought up before, that he doesn't shout out Sean Ranklin. So he knows who Sean Ranklin is, and he knows what Sean Ranklin's about. But he'll shout out Lean. Huh. That seems interesting. But remember, though, we're not going to shout out Sean Ranklin. How do you know who Sean Ranklin is, Phil? How do you know what he does, Phil? Are you scared that you'd have another person on your neck, too? And you see, that's him fence-sitting, as people like to call it, on this whole Wings of Redemption thing. It's rather pathetic. And that look on his face, right there, I call that the far-off wings look. It's like someone seeing a plate of wings and whatnot and wants to get it. Really wants to. But if Catherine finds out that he does, she's going to beat his ass. But he's looking at it, though. Or he could be looking at, like, a double turkey burger or some shit. Who can say? But Phil can't say he doesn't know who Wings is. It's just dishonest, to be honest.
or apparently his worst moments, because you guys tell me about, oh, remember the time when he said, look here, look, listen, or whatever the fuck that was, or the time that supposedly he scammed his viewers to raise money for an operation that then he went and bought a car or something. But, you know, these are I hear the worst. I don't hear the best things about the guy. Obviously, the guy must have something good about him or he wouldn't have any following. Same thing with me. Obviously, there's things that are good about me or you guys wouldn't be paying attention to me, right?
Fence sitting. I'm going to bring up his memes, but then I'm going to try to compliment him and say, oh, well, there must be something good about him because people still follow him, like me. Sure.
I'm not against having people who are his, you know, detractors watch my stuff as long as you guys don't make it about that. You know what I mean? Like, when you're here, you want to reference a Wings meme every once in a while, that's okay. I'm not going to say no. You know, that's stupid.
I ban all memes. Mods, ban all memes from the chat. Be like, oh, I'm a crotchety old 36-year-old streamer, and I don't like the memes, so I banned them from my chat.
I'm not going to do that. There's a
Does Phil not have banned words? Last time I checked? But we don't ban memes, though. Especially not Wings memes. Right? Both hooves in the air. I swear to you, I'm innocent. I promise you I'm innocent. I did not touch that chicken wing.
right there of him, right? But what I will say is, please, you know, don't make the whole thing about him, because I don't know anything about it. And that's messed up that you would come to another streamer's stream and make it all about him.
Ninth Golem is a complete idiot. It's narcissism that I want people to trash talk me instead of someone else. Dude, it's a fucking gameplay stream on my Twitch channel. I just don't want people to constantly be talking about other people. Coming to the stream chat, Wings of Redemption, Wings of Redemption, Wings of Redemption. What the fuck is this? What are people even talking about? Why are people even here if they're going to talk about another streamer? Good question. If you want to talk about another streamer, you should probably fucking go to their stream and leave me alone. How about that, asshole? Not about narcissism, it's about you pissing me off because you're fucking annoying.
And at the same time, you guys want to hang out and just have fun and enjoy my streams, by all means, welcome. But
Please understand that I'm not toxic. I'm not. The bottom line is, dude, stop it. Stop lying. You're so full of shit. You're so digging yourself even a deeper and deeper grave by lying. All you need to do is be honest.
I'm not going to have that kind of toxic shit constantly in my chat. You want to make a little jab here or there, that's different. But I'm not going to have it become the beat up on Wings all the time chat. We're not going to fucking do that, okay?
But that right there is bullshit, because if you're going to allow it every once in a while, all you're going to do is encourage the act. Hence the reason why, and then people will just continue to do so. Fuck you talking about? If you're not toxic, then you wouldn't allow negativity towards yourself or any other streamer, period. Stupid do you sound?
This is me, real and live on the stream every day. Alright? Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit.
Oh boy. That was absolutely insane. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, give me a minute to clean up. Let me clear the table. Oh boy. Alright guys. Alright, so crazy shit. That was just silly. Silly. Alright, I'm not sure if you guys caught it. I might have spoken over it and whatnot. So this report was kind of shaky. Oh my god. I feel better now though, but this report was kind of shaky. A little bit. The mental maturity with the whole pubes and everything, whatever. You can take that any which way you want to take with it. The I'm not toxic, absolute bullshit. I don't steal. Funny. Very funny. It should have been though, I didn't steal. Not that I don't steal. That's just my opinion, of course, but whatever. I don't scam. He didn't even give us an answer. I'm not sure if you guys caught that part, but he deflected that real fast. Like, he was quick to kind of jump out of that one and move immediately into the begging. I don't know why. I know why. Obviously, we know why. But that was kind of hilarious. It's kind of sad too. I mean, accept that shit. You can't fight it. You know what I'm saying? There's so much proof out there that you can't fight it. So, I mean, just live with it. Deal with it. And then the begging constantly, or I don't beg constantly. He's just he's an exceptional individual, ladies and gentlemen. That's all that's all that any of us can really take from this. An absolutely exceptional fucking individual. To have the nerve to sit there and say that I don't beg consistently. That's wild. Absolutely wild. I'm sure there's compilations out there of him begging and pleading and shit. Early Snort Burnell videos is basically consisted with that. That's what it contains. That's its essence, is him begging for the dumbest shit. Just wild stuff. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. Just crazy shit. Just absolutely crazy shit. But I had a good time. Sorry it started off a little rough. But it's early as hell. But I had a good time either which way. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Networking Productions. I am your host, /anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. See you on the next one. Later!